Hello, Fusation. My name is Alex Fuse, the host of Fusion News. Today is January 19th, 2018, and I hope you are having a great day so far. Before I introduce my next guest on Fusion News tonight, are you a subscriber of Fusion News? And if not, what are you waiting for? Right now to join the Fuse Nation, and when we hit 600 subscribers, we are almost there. I will be doing a special giveaway, so stay tuned for that. And now, without further ado, my next guest on tonight's show, Adam Kaufman from WBZ News Radio in Boston. So, Adam, how are we doing tonight?
Great, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks again for coming on my show. And of course, the big news this week, not exactly the discourse between Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Robert Kraft, or the trading mess up between Jimmy Garoppolo and the Patriots. It's the Tom Brady injury. So, what is this Tom Brady injury? How significant do you feel like this is for the Patriots?
Well, one of the thoughts that I had earlier today, and it was really only kind of just occurring to me after a couple of the days of panic throughout Patriots Nation and the entire region, as I'm sure you've paid attention to, was what if the Patriots are really playing this thing up? I mean, really playing it up to the degree where, we see earlier today Tom Brady comes out for the press conference with the media after canceling it each of the last 2 days, and he's got the gloves on both hands. You can't see anything with that hand, what the issue is. He didn't practice yesterday, just showed up for warm-ups today. He wouldn't even admit whether he threw a ball or not, but his teammates said, yes, he did. He was fine. He looked good. He was throwing well. He was the same old Tom Brady. So it started to just kind of rattle around my head. What if the Patriots are really playing this up to a distraction? What I mean by that is, what's the story that we were talking about all throughout last week? You alluded to it before. It's Tom Brady, Robert Kraft, and Bill Belichick, and the relationship between those three, and how well are they actually getting along? Well, the Patriots win, and then the first thing the media says, many in the media anyway, is Jaguars, they're going to roll over them. That's a boring week, boring game to talk about. This is going to be a dud. This is another bye to the Super Bowl, all of that, just a free pass on to Minnesota. What if the Patriots, and I'm not saying this is the case, and truly I don't even really think it's the case, but what if the Patriots internally were thinking, well, this is just more time they're going to spend on crap we don't feel like. Let's mess around a little bit. Gives the Jaguars something extra to think about as to whether Brian Hoyer actually needs to play. And people sure as hell aren't going to be talking about a relationship between a three-headed monster in Foxborough. They're going to be talking about Tom Brady's hand. So that's just kind of devil's advocate, sort of a funny conspiracy theory, I guess. Again, not likely, but Tom Curran, who's on the Patriots beat, does an excellent job for NBC Sports Boston, put out a post earlier this evening and said that, according to his sources anyway, the thumb is messed up. There's a cut. It was Brady jammed it on a running back in practice. There's no word right now as to whether there are stitches or how well or how far he can throw a football. But the bottom line of this whole thing, not to continue to ramble on, is just that the expectation is Tom Brady is going to play on Sunday. He's going to play, and I think he's going to be okay. I think he's not 100%. I don't think anybody's 100% this time of year, and it's just not something I'm overly concerned about.
I just talked to Jim Murray from the Boston Sports Hub 98.5, and I was alluding to maybe, possibly, could this be like the bloody sock game from the Red Sox a few years back? Do you think this could be maybe the bloody glove game? I mean, Boston Sports is very familiar with bloody socks, bloody gloves, so maybe this could be the new bloody sock game but in the NFL.
Well, first, I know Jim cares about this team more than he cares about anything in life, so he's probably shaking a little bit, just the possibility that Tom Brady may not be able to go out there on Sunday or be himself. But, I don't know. I've heard that comparison made, throughout this week a couple of times, and I don't think it's quite to that significance. That being said, there are some people all these years later now, what was that, 04, so it's 14 years later practically, and there are people that are doubting even now still whether Kurt Schilling was legitimately bleeding or just put ketchup on the sock. So, let people doubt whether Tom Brady actually has injury, a thumb injury, a finger injury, stitches, whatever it may be. I don't really care. What I care about now is what I cared about then, which is just go out and win the damn game. Kurt Schilling and the Red Sox did that in the Bronx, and hopefully, we'll get the same situation here for Tom Brady in Foxborough against Jacksonville.
When the Jaguars come into town this Sunday for this big matchup with the Patriots, do you feel like the Jaguars should not be worried about Tom Brady, and should the Patriots be really worried about their defense?
If I know you follow me on Twitter, and anyone that does probably saw that I was actively rooting for the Steelers in the divisional round over Jacksonville, just because, for me, I kind of prefer the devil you know. Patriots and Jags have not matched up this year. I know they spent time together at joint practices and then the preseason opener a million years ago, or realistically 5.5 months ago, but they didn't square off in the regular season. Both teams have evolved quite a bit since then. The Patriots, the better team, of course. That's why they're favored by a touchdown plus. But the Jags defense is legitimate, and people have been working hard all week long to how the numbers are inflated. Half their sacks came in 4 games or something like that, and the bulk of their great defensive games in terms of points and yards allowed came against, and that division sucks. This guy has this issue. This one has the fact of the matter is, across that front seven, you got first-round picks, you got all pros throughout that defense, Pro Bowlers. It's an extremely talented team, and that is the type of defense, whether you want to think back to Ravens teams of the past, Giants teams of the past, even Jets teams of the past, that's the type of defense that has gotten the best of Tom Brady. Not the Steelers defense that, he's capable of going out and carving up as he routinely. I wasn't worried about a shotgun or a shootout in Foxborough. That just didn't concern me. I don't think we're going to see that with Jacksonville. I don't think you're going to see a repeat of the game that was just played in Pittsburgh between those two teams. I think you're going to see something that's, I think the Patriots are going to win, but I think it's probably going to be a game that's like, 21-13 or something like that. A game that is, I don't even know what the line is in terms of the over-under, but I don't think it's going to hit it. I think it's going to, despite the warmer weather, factor in Brady's injury, that aggressive, talented defense on the Jacksonville side. I think this is going to be kind of a grinded-out game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree with you with that. Before we wrap up this interview, I want to switch over to the NFC, and of course the Eagles and the Vikings are facing off. What is your prediction for those games? Do you feel like if the Patriots do beat the Jaguars this weekend, do you feel like the Patriot fans want to face the Vikings, even though their game is, of course, the hometown of the Super Bowl this year?
No, I just don't think you want to deal with that, and maybe that's just me taking a walk down Narrative Street, but I don't think, you want to even have to deal with all of that comes with facing a team with the home Super Bowl, and you could certainly argue that's more pressure on Minnesota than it would be the Patriots or Jaguars, whichever team represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. But, looking at the whole thing, I think the Eagles are a better matchup. I think, Case Keenum's a better quarterback than Nick Foles in my mind, or at least he is in this moment. Maybe not historically or in his career, but in this moment, based on what he has around him, I don't think that Eagles team without Carson Wentz is nearly the same team that it was. And I just think there's, again, this is just sports do this to you, but I think there's a little something magical about what's going on with that Vikings team right now. And, case in point, look what happened against the Saints. So I don't, if I'm the Patriots, not that they care, because quite frankly, we already know they're going to be favored against either one of those teams, provided they advance. But that's not the situation I'd want to deal with. I'd want to go there, face the Eagles, get that Super Bowl rematch, and, a guy that is just so prone to screwing up, and Nick Foles on the other side, or at least has been since, coming under in place of Wentz. That's the matchup that I'd be rooting for. And again, a defense that is not nearly as good as what the Vikings are.
Mm-hmm. 4 teams are left in the NFL playoffs. Which 2 teams are going to the Super Bowl, and which team do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be Patriots against, I think it's going to be the Vikings. I'd like it to be the Eagles. I think it's going to be the Vikings. I do think the Patriots, as long as Tom Brady's hand is not falling off, because keep in mind, he just has to get through this game and then has 2 weeks to rest it. I think the Patriots are going to go and win their 6th Super Bowl. I really do. And that's not me being a homer. It's the fact that they have the best quarterback left in the field. They have the best team left in the field. They have the best coach left in the field. They have the most experience left in the field. There are a zillion different components that you could look at. And, a game that's indoors as well, that, you don't have to worry about climate factors or anything like that screwing anything up. I just think the odds really are in the Patriots' favor. I think they're going to go out and repeat, which is something that no team has done since.
So this is a loaded last question. If the Patriots do win the Super Bowl, which you just projected, do you feel like Tom Brady's going to retire?
Nope. I really don't. You know, if he wanted to go out on top, if he was hell bent on going out on top, what better way than to go out than the way he did last year, right? I mean, you're not going to have a better finale to your career than what he and that team experienced last year in Houston. So, I mean, I guess you could argue going out and winning MVP as a 40-year-old and repeating as a Super Bowl champ and doing it potentially in the stadium of and being I think he would be the first MVP to win a Super Bowl as well in the same season. I mean, yeah, I guess you could flood some of those stats in there and say that's impressive when you put it on top of what he did last year. But in terms of scenario, I can't imagine that this one is better. So I just think this is the kind of thing that fuels Brady. This is what he wants to do. I think he's absolutely sincere in saying that he intends to play another handful of years, provided he's healthy enough to do so. And I really think if the Patriots had any sort of inkling that Brady was even considering retiring if he were able to win another championship this year or even walk away, then Jimmy Garoppolo would still be here. You know, they wouldn't have moved him thinking that they've got another 2, 3, 4, whatever years left to Tom Brady. So short answer is no. Tom Brady's not going anywhere, and for that matter, Bill Belichick's not either.
Giants fans were around here in upstate New York hoping that Bill Belichick would go to the Giants, but Patriot fans were not hoping that would happen. Adam, I want to say thank you again for coming on my show tonight. And where can the Patriot fans follow you on Twitter? I know there's a big game coming up this weekend. And, of course, if the Patriots do make it to the Super Bowl, follow along with you there.
At Adam M. Kaufman on Twitter. And, yeah, I'll just be out there tweeting a little bit too much and doing what I do. And hopefully people follow along.
Definitely. All right. Thanks again, Adam, for coming on my show tonight.
All right. Happy to do it.
All right, Fuse Nation, just heard it from Adam Kaufman from WBZ News in Boston. We talked the Patriots, we talked the Vikings, we talked the Jaguars, and, of course, we talked the Eagles. Super Bowl winner in 2018 is the New England Patriots back-to-back. And like he said, the last team to do it were the Patriots. Thanks again, Fuse Nation, for watching. Be a subscriber. Like the video. Share the video. Follow me on Twitter at AlexFeuz, ALEXFEUZ. Thanks for watching, and I will be seeing you watching.